a man on a mission. He's out to prove there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Often employing new and controversial techniques, Paul believes the mind has a limitless capacity to reprogram itself. In short, he believes he can change your life.
Sprinkled it in. There you go.
Today he meets Sandra, whose cleaning obsession has ruined her family's life as well as her own.
I love my fiancé, my daughter, my family, but I sometimes think my cleaning is more important than them.
I think most people find change a bit scary because human beings like familiarity, even when it's dysfunctional. So what I do is help people step outside their comfort zone so that they can move beyond their limitations.
But getting his first case to step out of her comfort zone is a challenge that may be too much even for Paul. It's first thing in the morning and Leeds housewife Sandra Klein has a full day ahead. As for many housewives, cleaning is part of her daily routine.
I like to clean the bathroom at night before I go to bed, and then again in the morning, and then again in the evening.
But for Sandra, cleanliness is far more than a matter of pride, it's her life.
To me it means all about germs and contamination, mainly bringing germs from outside into my home.
Sandra suffers from a condition known as obsessive compulsive disorder. She washes her hands hundreds of times a day.
I could never count how many times I wash my hands, it'd be too many. I'd lose count after about the first hour. When it's been really cold, I've had very big cuts and gashes here, and they actually bleed when I bend them. In fact, I couldn't bend that finger at all for about 2 weeks.
Obsessive behaviour affects us all in some ways, but for Sandra, it dominates her life.
I think I've always had tendencies in my life, but I think this past 10 years, whether it's been anxiety or stress of different things, it's made it worse and worse.
Her obsession with cleanliness can prove hard to live with.
For as long as I can remember, I've not been able to have, well, I was able to have friends around, and then gradually when I got older it stopped.
Sandra and her daughter live with Sandra's fiancé and his mother.
Love my life. That's what the relationship is. Yeah, I want to spend the rest of my life with her as well.
Sandra and Alexia used to live 20 minutes away in this flat until Sandra's obsessive rules drove her daughter out of the house.
When I came in, I had to take my shoes and socks off before I walked through the door, and I wasn't allowed to touch the walls or the doors or anything. I had to get straight into the bath, and I wouldn't be allowed to make myself a drink or anything to eat. I'd have to wait for my mum to do it in her own time.
I found it very hard. I mean, it wasn't so much the cleaning, it was other things with, like not being able to go in.
He stood on the doorstep in the snow talking to me. But sometimes I didn't have time to stand at the door talking to him. I had things to do, and I'd say, Stephen, I must go, thanks for the shopping, or thanks for whatever. I've got to go get on now. And he'd say, yeah, I know, and he'd go.
I'd get a call at 9 o'clock at night, can you come and get the rubbish? I mean, I don't know any other men that do it, but, I did it. I'd get in the car and I'd go around and just see it for 30 seconds, pick a bag of rubbish up, put it in a bin that's outside a flat. It hurts. I used to think it's me, although I know it's not me because Alexia couldn't have her friends in either, and I'd like to see Sandra right for Alexia.
I felt like I was either a prisoner in my own home or a guest in my own home. I'll do anything not to go back.
The flat now stands empty, and Sandra can't bear anyone to go in it. Steve had hoped that when Sandra moved in with him and away from her own home, her need to clean would diminish, but it's returned worse than ever.
I knew there was a problem, obviously, and I know what it is now. So I didn't argue. I just let her get on with it, and when she's not been in, obviously I've done it myself. I didn't want to make a fuss. Just had to adjust.
I always think to myself, I hope I'm not like that with my children, because I don't want them to feel the way that I feel or felt when we lived at home. I don't want it to rub off on me, which like some things do, like I'm always washing my hands. When I'm at home, I find myself automatically going to wash my hands so my mum doesn't tell me all the time to do it, and then I can say, I've just done it.
I think she's realised that it's not my fault anymore. She used to blame me for it and cry over it and say, you know, it's all your... But now I think she's getting older, she knows it's psychological.
Why can't our relationship be like I see my brother's relationship? You know, yeah, there is anger there. I mean, not anger towards her, but anger towards the problems she's got.
The condition's got maybe as bad as it can get. What with not letting people in and using all my energies to clean and think with, I don't think it could get any worse. I haven't been that happy for a long time. I do cry a lot, mainly when I'm on my own, probably. You know, I've been to the doctor and they don't have a lot of sympathy. I've tried counselling, I've tried Prozac.
OCD has beaten all treatment Sandra's previously tried, but she hopes Paul may have the answer.
The unconscious mind is not logical. This is not logical behaviour, but it's purposeful. This will be fulfilling some purpose.
I don't really know how it works, but I'm hoping it's going to be quite a quick thing so I can get my life back to normal.
If he helps my mum, I can live normally at home like a 19-year-old does.
Hello?
Hi, is that Sandra?
It is.
Hi, it's Paul McKenna speaking.
Hi.
How you doing, Sandra?
First, Paul discovers just how Sandra views dirt in the home.
How do you know it's spoiled then? What do you see? What you see when you think of your house right now, you think of it as pure and clean, yeah?
Yeah. And it's spoiling the cleanliness I've reached. It's spoiling it, and I've got to start all over again.
What she's doing is feeling fear and then imagining, you know, things getting worse. The worse she feels, the more she imagines terrible things. The more she imagines terrible things, the worse she feels. So it's a self-reinforcing cycle. And what I'm going to do is try and spoil that tomorrow.
She's going to make it nice for Paul tomorrow. She was working all day yesterday.
Sandra goes over the bathroom for the last time.
I'm absolutely worn out.
She's now been cleaning for 16 hours.
I've been at it since about 7 this morning, so I'm ready for bed now.
The next day, Paul travels to Leeds to meet Sandra.
We have programs of compulsion within us. For example, we feel compelled to put our clothes on before we leave the house each morning. Or if, say, we won the lottery, we'd feel a feeling of compulsion to go and pick up our winnings. It's not something we might get around to at some stage.
Hello?
Hi, Sandra, it's Paul McKenna.
Hi, if you push the door.
And what's happened is for Sandra, the pattern of compulsion around cleaning is overgeneralized, so she's overprotecting herself. So I'm going to go and change that and reset the thermostat of normal compulsion around cleaning. You don't want to shake hands with me,
I'm shaking hands with him. Come in.
Is there any chance of a cup of your fine northern tea?
There is, yeah.
Oh, I've been looking forward to that all the way up here. So the tea's always better in the north.
So they say.
Oh, no, it's true.
We were living in Manchester and we moved to Leeds.
Sandra begins by telling Paul about her life. She reveals a broken marriage and life as a single parent.
Yeah.
So I was allowed to put more energies into my cleaning. Nobody's spoiling it. If I cleaned it, it would stay like that.
Yeah, when you were describing a time when you had great instability taking place in your life, one of the places you found order was in your own domain, which is the kitchen. Dirty is the worst thing, is it?
Paul also needs to find out just how extreme her fear of dirt is.
What's bad about being unclean?
To me, it's the end of the world.
It's the end of the world.
It's a big, I mean, I love my fiancé, my daughter, my family, but I sometimes think my cleaning is more important than them. I always look on there. If there's crumbs on there, I can't stand that. They come in, they just cut it and it drops on the floor and I go mental. And I won't say anything to them.
Yeah.
But inside,
But inside, you're
really mad.
Yeah, got it.
Because I'm tired. I've just done it all.
That's how you motivate yourself to do it. I'm going to ask you to tap on various points.
This tapping technique, known as thought field therapy, reorganizes the way that compulsive behavior is coded in the brain.
Crumbs, 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 crumbs. And jingle bells, jingle all the way. Count out loud from 1 to 5 while you think about...
He repeats this process again and again until the message is recoded.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Tap here. Think about crumbs, think about crumbs. Okay, and stop. Good. Actually, what we're doing is a bit at a time, we are reducing the old pattern's intensity, yeah? So if you close your eyes, and in a moment, I'm going to reach over and touch you on the knee, and I want to create an associational link between a good feeling and this particular...
Paul now wants Sandra to feel good about crumbs, so she no longer feels the compulsion to clear them away.
You didn't have a care in the world. Yeah, maybe on holiday or something like that.
Holidays, because I don't worry as much.
There you go. Let's take that feeling of not worrying so much. Yeah. There we go. And then put a little crumb or two, just one tiny little crumb in this happy time. But it doesn't seem to matter. And that crumb would be so lonely on its own, so let's give it a brother or sister, shall we? Oh, in fact, why not let's have the family of crumbs there? If we're having the family, we might as well have the village, the town and the city. There are crumbs all over the place, but it doesn't matter because they're minding their own business, just being crumbs. So open your eyes and imagine there's crumbs there now. What's the difference?
I'm not as bothered about them. I'm thinking about the other thing.
But how will she cope with the real thing? And when she resists treatment, Paul gets tough.
You either do it or you don't do it. And if you don't do it, there are serious consequences.
Paul is about to get obsessive compulsive Sandra to face one of her greatest fears.
Let's make some crumbs.
Mess in the kitchen.
There's some proper crumbs, those are. Remember, when you don't have a care in the world, just close your eyes for a moment. Remember that now. Back here on the boat, feeling...
Once again, Paul fires off Sandra's positive state to cancel out the negative.
What you heard and feel how you felt, and open your eyes and look at the crumbs. It's not the same, is it?
I'm not bothered.
You're not
I'm not
bothered?
as bothered. I'd rather have one or the other.
We've only been doing this a few minutes and you're not bothered about the crumbs.
Not as bothered.
Not as bothered. How do you feel about a bit of dirt?
In here?
Yeah. If a bit was on the floor,
Like
I
that.
think, like that, yeah. Would that normally freak you out?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about it right now?
I'd have got the floor wiped, so do it later when I do.
Yeah. Yeah. How about shaking hands? Yeah. It's
Now everybody's
fantastic.
going to go mad at me because I'm not cleaning up anymore. They're gonna
Well,
miss
you
it.
know what? Yeah, but you see, you've got license. You go, if anyone gives you a hard time, you go,
Just leave it, I'll
Paul
do it
McKenna
later.
made... Sorry. It's all his fault, you know? He made me program my mind.
It's good. That's really good.
You won't be saying that when you've got to do it.
I know.
So it was almost like a meditation for her, cleaning, yeah? And what I did was gave her feelings of calm without having to clean.
You can clean that. Or I'll do it later, but if not, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's only been a few days since Sandra's first session with Paul, but she's already relapsing. She won't let anyone in her flat for fear of contamination. It's been empty for months.
I'm feeling all right if I just go in. Even then, I'm not that keen.
But more crucially, she's also challenging Paul's instructions to lessen her hand washing.
I can wash my hands 10 times in 5 minutes. So how could I possibly do it 10 times in one day? I think he washes his more probably than 10 times a day.
Paul calls her to London for another session. And this time, he concentrates on her hands.
Imagine putting dirt on your hand. Lump of mud, how does it feel?
Okay.
It feels okay. And then I want you to go like that and rub them together. Yeah. Okay, let's go upstairs, shall we? I've got some mud upstairs. A good supply of high quality mud. Oh, lovely, lovely mud. That's good. Nice for actually leaving on the hands. And then put some mud on your hands and then just leave it there. Right. And hold one point, put your attention in your tummy. Just relax your hands by your side. There we go. Now, just relax. Now, where's the desire to clean your hands on a scale of 1 to 10?
About 4.
4. Hold 1 point till it's a 3. 2. And we'll leave it at 2. See, the thing is, I want a signal, if my hands are dirty, to tell me to wash my hands, right? But it doesn't have to be overwhelming, so I have to go and do it that moment. I want to decide when I'll do it.
I do feel stronger, and I just hope when I get home that it's still stronger and I can do it.
The next day, Sandra is still feeling strong. Under Paul's instruction, she does something she's never done before: visit a charity shop.
Just, to me, they're dirty. They look dirty. Look like somebody else has maybe sweated in them or had a rash, or just dirty people. I'm not saying they're all dirty, but to me they are, and I wouldn't dare put them on.
But the old pattern quickly re-emerges.
Right, well, I've been in there about 10 minutes. I still feel like I've got to give my hands a good wipe from touching the clothes. Some of the people looked a bit dodgy.
And back home in Leeds, only 2 days after seeing Paul, the obsession has returned as strong as ever.
She was all right for the first couple of days after Paul first saw her. Well, then that's just slowly but surely she just, I don't know, went back into the way she was.
Sandra's not sure whether Paul's methods are working.
When Paul says to me on the phone, give me a number of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And I say 10 because I'm feeling bad, and then he'll start doing the exercise with me and how are you feeling now? And I say it's going down to 4, 3, 2, but sometimes I don't know if it really is. I just think every time he hypnotises me, am I really being, am I really under? Is it really working?
Bon appetit, babe.
Paul is having more difficulty with this case than he first thought. He turns to his old friend and mentor for advice. Dr. Richard Bandler, one of the world's most renowned behavioural scientists and creator of neuro-linguistic programming.
You have to scare her. You have to say, look, I've had compulsives before, and one of 2 things will surely happen. Either you follow every instruction I give you, or you're headed for a life of loneliness, of misery. Everyone you love will leave you.
So she gets so scared of the life of loneliness, which ultimately she will happen
to them.
Yeah.
But scaring her is not enough. Richard also tells Paul about a technique that turns the obsession back on itself.
You have to enjoy driving them nuts. I call them in the middle of the night and go, oops, there's something I forgot to tell you about. So that everything they obsess about, you have to get them to obsess about not doing it.
Yeah.
So for Sandra's third session, Paul tries a tougher approach.
But let's talk about dirt. Dirt is a sign that people are there in that place. It's a sign of life. A lack of it is a sign of death, of nothing. Yeah? And what we need to remind ourselves constantly is that when we see some dirt, that it means that our loved ones are nearby.
It's true.
Every time that somebody leaves a little bit of dirt in the kitchen, it's a sign of life, of another human being there. Because can you imagine a house where not a single piece of carpet had been trodden on? Every surface was immaculately clean. There was no dirt, but there was nobody there.
Just me touching things, that's how it was.
Without anybody else.
Lonely.
Lonely. Now I need you to copy down these instructions exactly the way that I described them to you. There's a bit of paper.
As Richard Bandler suggested, Paul now gives Sandra a set of instructions that aim to turn the obsession back on itself.
24. You have to imagine putting your hand into dirt and feeling good. At 5:18, decide which part of your body feels best. This is your new structure. It doesn't matter what's going on, yeah? You have to, at 11:12, write down something you can look forward to today. It would be something like seeing my daughter.
I don't understand how this could work.
You don't need to. You don't have to understand consciously a thing about this in order to get better. This is giving her a new framework of things that absolutely must be done at exact times, and all of them involve feeling good. This is an example of using obsessive compulsion back on itself. So Sandra's got something else to compulse about now, because she's going to have to hit an exact time junction. 12 minutes past the hour, she's going to have to remember to smile several times.
But Sandra's not so enthusiastic. She's more concerned about a forthcoming holiday.
I'm going away to get away from everything, and Stephen's not going to be too pleased. It's not as though it's just the odd time, it's like from 9:32 in the morning till 10 something. It's not going to be easy. I mean, I'll try and do it, but obviously I want to rest on holiday to get away from all that.
Paul's not happy with Sandra's negative attitude.
You either do it or you don't do it. And if you don't do it, there are serious consequences.
Paul's insistent that treatment should continue when Sandra's at her most relaxed, on holiday. To check she's doing her exercises, he calls her.
I'm going to call her now, and if she hasn't followed those instructions, if she still has a reason for not doing it, I'm going to assume that she's not somebody I can help, because with some things people really do have to meet me halfway. Now, have you been following the instructions? You've followed every single one of them meticulously.
Yeah. Well, 10:02 was my last exercise. Done them all.
If she's obsessing about doing things which are going to make her feel good, soon that will collapse the old negative obsessions out, which are, dysfunctional ones about cleaning everything all the time.
And when Sandra returns from holiday, it seems that her state of mind has improved.
Come and have a seat. I thought we'd sit on the terrace. So bring me up to speed. What's been happening?
I'm feeling a lot more relaxed about things. I'm not cleaning as much. I'm still doing my bits, but not as bad.
Oh, okay. So on the positive side, there's less cleaning. But how much? I just want to know. So, if before it was 100%,
yeah.
How much, what percentage?
Well, I think about half. I think about 50%
Wow.
less.
No, that shows me that the pattern has begun to undo.
And back in Leeds,
Hi, men.
she even allows the camera into her flat for the first time.
Right, so 146 is...
And she's still doing her exercises.
I haven't missed anything. 325 is the next one, and that's hold 1 point for 18 seconds. So I'll set my alarm for 15:25. Then every time.
I feel like it's made a difference, the treatment that my mum's had with Paul. I definitely feel like there is some things that she's not managed to achieve yet, but if she keeps working at it, then hopefully, yes, she will be cured.
It was very good what he said, actually, that dirt is a sign of people you love being around you and things like that, and I think that's been going through my head a lot, and him saying that, and me thinking, yeah, when I am on my own and there's no crumbs and no dust, that is a sign of loneliness.
Although her daughter has moved out, Sandra continues to push forward with her recovery and is currently looking for a new place to live with her fiancé. A fresh start for Sandra. Time will tell.
Tonight here on Sky 3, another one bites the dust as Tommy Gilby and Jason dismantle the dreams of another contestant in Tommy Lee's Rockstar Supernova. Watch the career-shattering verdict from 9.